Attention, bobsled riders! You will soon be embarking on a thrilling podcast down the icy slopes of the Matterhorn, so please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the bobsled at all times. Auf Wiedersehen!
Hello, Yodelers! We are the Matterhorn Yodelers. I am your host today, Japheth, with
Jackie.
and
I'm the creepy bad wolf.
Zoot Suit Wolf. All right, if you can figure out what we're watching, good, or what we're talking about, good for you. But for the rest of us, we're into the woods. We're doing a movie review.
Yeah.
Into the woods.
It's a musical. Have we reviewed a musical?
I mean, we did. I wouldn't consider anything that we've reviewed a musical. I don't think so. I mean, we did.
There was
Parent
music
Trap, that's about it. But this was a Jackie selection. Jackie picked this movie. Why did you want to pick?
So,
Originally, we were supposed to do Tomorrowland.
But then we found out that Stars is the only way to watch that, and none of us wanted to pay
No.
for that. So
I was like,
that
nah.
will be saved for another day.
yeah. So Into the Woods, I remember when it came out and I loved it. I saw it in the theater, fell in love, and I was like, this is the best movie ever.
Where were you in your life with this? Not like geographically, but like
What was your
emotionally
age?
and mentally, like to where it attached to you. Were you in college?
College.
You're in still college with this?
This came out like 2014.
2014.
Yeah, I was in college.
Okay.
I was probably on my last semester of college.
I was just finishing up high school. I was nowhere near high school at this point.
No, because I was in Arizona, so I must have been like my last semester of college when I moved back home.
Yeah, you were in your last semester. We both graduated college in 2015, right?
Yeah.
It was like, I got mine before you. That's what you said.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's right.
She wins this round.
She wins this
Yes.
round.
Yeah, so I loved the movie. I was like, this
Did you
is
see it in the theater?
Yeah. I saw it with Father
Were you
Yoder.
excited? You were excited to watch it?
Yeah.
Well, I know you had seen the play, or at least a
No.
recording. You didn't see the recording of the
No,
play?
this
Because I
was-
thought I remember you and your friend Sarah, listener to the show, used to watch that.
No.
Because that was actually my first introduction was when you were watching the play on DVD.
I don't remember, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Peter, have you seen this movie before?
I had seen it before. I think I waited until later on to watch it. But yeah, I don't think I saw it in the theater. I think I saw it off of like Disney Channel or something like that. Because this was pre-Disney Plus, so I never owned it. I don't think we ever bought it, but I did see it, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, it came out. I was in love with it. I remember Father Yoder loving it. And then I saw, I kept on hearing reviews, and, it just got average reviews. And I was like, how? How could this be so average? I loved it. So I wanted to
Revisit.
Do you want an
revisit it.
average person to tell you why it's so average?
Yeah,
Well,
We'll get into it.
I know.
the listeners can't see, but this is what average looks like. Dad bod and all. Yeah, I've never seen this. So when Jackie gave her options of, was it Princess
Princess
Diaries or
yeah.
this, I was like, well, let's watch Into the Woods. I've never seen it, and my wife had seen it, and I think that's what deterred me, because we were dating at the time, and she saw it on a vacation with her family, and she's like, all I do is sing talk things, and it just, but she, as she was watching this again with me, said I was not in a place that was going to allow this to be well received. It was busy, people are talking, it was very active.
You have to pay attention.
And you have to pay
Yeah.
attention. It moves. I was writing down the different scenes and the different songs, and it's just it looks like Guitar Hero with what I made with my notes, with how it just stretches out because you have 4 different storylines going.
Yes. I mean, you can easily tell this is a play production.
Yes.
This is
This is like watching Les Mis or those movies that they make
Yeah.
theatrical or whatnot.
They transition from stage
Yes.
to film. Before we get started, a yay or nay this go around watching it.
Oh, yay.
Nay.
Nay for
Wow.
me. Yeah.
Oh, I'm shocked. I watched it. I'm like, I watch this all the time.
I mean,
I figured because the choice of movies, I was like, these are Jackie like go to feel like so I was like, all right, let me watch it. And yeah, so I'm gonna read this one review, like just synopsis. It goes, in a fantastical and magical world, a couple of classic fairy tales collide, and in a live action attempt to create something unique, Rapunzel's mother wants her beauty back, so she tasks a baker to bring her what she needs in exchange for removing his family curse. In the meantime, Cinderella, Red Riding Hood, and Jack have plans of their own in relation with the main story. So you get those 4 stories there, and then the person just goes in and just completely dumps on the movie. But I just really liked how he did that synopsis at first. I was like, oh, that sums it up really well.
Yes.
It has a good cast.
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
you
great
can tell
cast.
that's where the money went.
Yeah, and
That's where the money
and it
went
only
for this
cost
movie.
$50 million
Yeah.
to make. I
Yeah.
say that only now, but it really didn't do, like, it wasn't like in the billions. It made 250, or in the theater, and it was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Comedy Musical.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I mean, unless it was a not funny year, or
Right. So let me ask you, Jackie, was this movie funny for you?
or is it?
Funny?
Yes.
No.
Was it a comedy to you? Okay.
But that's not the category. It was comedy or a musical.
Yes, but Peter's gonna hit you with something.
Okay. Do you remember watching the play production
Yes.
of Into the Woods? That is funny.
The clips I saw online after watching the movie, they were funny. They made me laugh.
Right.
But I enjoyed the movie production more because I felt like there was more thought and meaning behind certain things, and I really enjoyed the character growth of all the characters. And it wasn't, it's not your typical the overall like story itself, it's not your typical like fairy tale story, like
Right.
and so
I mean, the first half is.
Yeah, and during this time period, you have like Once Upon a Time.
Right.
yeah.
That's really like, I think this comes out like the year after the Peter Pan, like, or like story, or
Right.
the arc, where I was like, I thought that was peak Once Upon a Time.
It was.
And after that,
That
I was
was
like,
peak.
it
was
really
bad.
It went. We're going into Hades, is like, and I'm never watching this show again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're getting during this time period in 2010 to this time period, you're getting the fairy tale
Yep.
era.
Disney buys the movie rights for this Broadway play.
And you get Meryl Streep doing The Witch,
Yeah.
which was played by like Bernadette Peters,
Yeah, I think so.
and I mean she's just the powerhouse.
Yeah.
She's the Meryl Streep of Broadway.
Oh,
So
big
Meryl Streep
time.
does to do the movie, right? You get Anna Kendrick as Cinderella, Chris Pine as Cinderella's prince, Emily
Yeah.
Blunt as Baker's wife. The Jack is a no name, but he's one of those kids where like, oh, you could be in like all
He
of her.
was in Les Mis.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's one of those things like, oh, you can sing, kid. Like
Yeah.
He
had a
he
great
did
voice.
Broadway as a kid, and
As
yeah.
a kid, he is.
he was a kid. He was like a preteen. He was like
Right.
like 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And then you have James Corden, the late night host. You have Christine Baranski. What is she known? She's on the Gilded Age.
Yeah.
She's and then who else do you have? That was you have Tracy Ullman. She's a comedian that played Jack's mom. And then there was someone, and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He was there, Johnny Depp, and you get a bunch of other like
The creepy werewolf.
he
The
plays
creepy
the
wolf.
werewolf.
The
Yes,
creepy wolf who like if you're not listening to this in context, you think like he's going to molest this child. Like he's describing this child as like, oh, so delicious, and
But
I
he's
want
looking at her
you,"
like a
and
piece of meat.
I know, but it comes off. If you don't know the context, it comes off really inappropriate.
It was a part where I was kind of like, I hope they kill off this character soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw the picture, I was like, oh, Johnny Depp's in this?
Yeah.
And like
Not very long.
The whisker, like, and the zoot suit. I was like, this
Okay,
is
but Johnny
weird.
Depp, I thought he did a good job in that role because, first of all, he was not Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. I felt like Johnny Depp kind of plateaued with Pirates. After
Yeah.
that, I can't see him in any other kind of role. I think that's the part where he starts sticking the earpiece and they just feed him the words.
Right.
Like he's that actor. Yeah, I wasn't. He was forgettable.
Yeah.
And it was a good forgettable for me with Johnny Depp.
Yes.
So, what do we want to go talk about each character first, or we want to go into the story and talk about like good things about it? What do we want to do?
Let's talk about the story.
The story, like I said, you have four main stories. You have the witch who works mainly with the baker and his wife, and they are cursed because of the baker's father
Stole the beans.
And then Meryl Streep plays the witch. She's phenomenal.
Yes.
She did a great
She
job.
holds
She got
it.
nominated.
She did get
for
nominated.
Oscar.
It's whenever she does something.
I mean, listening to her sing reminded me of her singing in Murders in the
yeah.
Building. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm watching this again. Yeah.
my first exposure to her singing was in Murders in a
Yeah.
Building.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, she really can sing. And then on this, I'm all like, she can sing.
Oh
Yeah.
she killed
And I was
it.
all like, man.
She was fantastic.
So this really was like the cherry on top of like, she's awesome.
yeah.
So back to the story, you got Jack. He's got to sell the cow from the classic story of Cinderella denied going to the King's Festival. And then you have Red Riding Hood, which I didn't like at first because she kept eating like
The baker's
you know how I'm old,
She's
I'm all
stealing.
like, you're just stealing. You're not even paying for that. Like, and the wife's like, oh, it's okay. And I'm all like, she's got that nice cloak, and you're just like, well, we're in this kind of dark, dingy like house
Right.
here. So I was kind of not happy about that. But the witch tells the bakers like, you can break the curse after 3 midnights, and where you have to get a white cow, a red cape, yellow hair, and a golden slipper. And it was kind of fun because everybody now has to go into the woods to resolve their issue. And so at the point, into the woods. And that was kind of fun getting to there. Very great. That's a fun song. And I was like, it got me into the movie.
yeah.
They succeeded there.
Yes.
I was like, it's a tough part with musicals where you're like, I don't know what I'm going to get. Like, I remember seeing La La Land, and I wasn't
Oh, that
expecting
was
a musical. And then they started the movie, and I was like, I look at my wife, and I go, this is a musical? My brain's not ready for this. I have to prepare for a musical.
Yes.
So they did a great job. They got me into it. Nothing threw me off there. It was fun to see where the witch wants the baker to steal the red cape, and that was kind of fun. Where
Yes.
James Corden,
I enjoyed like the witch coming in randomly in the woods.
and this is where she kind of fills in the role of the narrator
Yeah.
and the stage play, which they cut out of
Yes.
this.
They had to cut a lot of different parts from the stage play to fit the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Jack bumps into the baker, sells the cow for 5 magic beans. It was kind of fun to see the story come to life from our childhood
and seeing
stories.
all the connections.
Yes. And they did a really good job from the play, probably, where they intermix it, Cindy, I'm gonna call Cinderella Cindy. It's just easier for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
She sees her mom and gets her wish, and she gets the gown. Johnny Depp meets the Red Riding Hood, and that was the first like hiccup for me, going, whoa, this is kind of like, I don't know about
Right.
like Johnny Depp. I got kind of like the Harry Potter story
Sure.
kind of villain, where I'm like, all right. yeah, Rapunzel is, and then we find out that Rapunzel is the baker's sister that was taken by the witch.
Yeah.
And the prince hears her sing, and so that kind of leads us into the agony song.
My favorite song.
Yeah, I figured that was.
That's my favorite song. Unfortunately, they ruined it in this movie. I
Really?
like the play production version 1,000 times better because like the movie like plays this as like a real like, oh, I'm heartbroken,
But then they
Whereas-
turn into a joke. Where
It
they're like,
turns
whoa,
into
whoa, 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 you know.
Yeah.
I liked it though. I enjoy it.
But,
Brought
like-
some comedy
So-
relief.
so
that
what's-
was the funniest part of the whole movie, the ripping the shirt open
Right.
and
And
agony.
It's like one of those things I would love to do a duet with one of my friends, and just like me and him do this duet for this both songs, because they cut one of the songs.
Yeah.
Because the second song, it's the same song, but they're singing about different princesses, and
It's like
hilarious.
post-marriage kind
Like,
of agony.
You have like he's like, oh, I ran into Snow White and I ran into Sleeping Beauty, and it's like, well, I couldn't get to Snow White because there's dwarves. Like, what's wrong with dwarves? Dwarves are very upsetting. Like, it's just hilarious. There's like, well, what's wrong with going to Sleeping Beauty? It's like, oh, she's surrounded by a thicket. What? It's no problem. You just pick it with a stick, and it goes. Oh, I don't like the blood, you know. It's just hilarious, and like it's a shame that that was one of the parts they had to cut out, was the reprise of agony, because like, yeah, the first one, like, you get the general idea of like, oh yes, we're the princes and we're looking for the women we love, but missing that second one, you know, you miss that context when you run into Prince Pine.
Prince Pine, yeah.
That's what I'm just gonna call him Prince
Cindy's
Pine,
prince.
Yes.
when he starts flirting with another girl, with the baker's wife.
Yeah,
And so like
that's-
you miss that aspect of like, oh, like all of a sudden this prince is he's just charming, you know.
Yeah, but they address that later in the movie.
They do, but it's
But you're
doesn't
puzzled in the moment,
Right.
And the second half where you're going, what? What's going on? And it just like, it's like watching a movie that was made out of a book, and
Right.
they pass over time, going, oh, different haircut. It must be years.
No.
Oh, all right.
Right.
Time machine, you know, in a
Yeah,
2-hour
like,
movie.
yeah, it's just like the things that they cut some of the things that like were like, there's definitely missing aspects to the story with this movie. But I do love the even the movie version of Agony.
I
It's
thought-
still good.
I enjoyed it. I
It's
enjoyed
still
watching
good.
it.
It brings life to
Yes.
it, and you can't help but like whenever you're an agonizing moment to go agony,
Oh,
like
every
I'd
time.
rip your shirt, like I just see it, and it's just like I didn't even see the movie, but I know that song, and it's iconic.
Yes.
And Chris Pine shows that he can sing.
Yeah.
He was
He was in Wish. So.
he's and my daughter saw it, and he's like. I was like, oh, it's King Magnifico, and my daughter's like, where's the queen? Where's that? And she got tangented so quickly. You're like, is that the queen? Is that Queen? You know, Alaya?
You're like, no. It's
And I was
not
like, oh, I
connected.
regret doing this with an almost 4-year-old. Okay, but no, my daughter watched the whole movie. You know, and she stuck
loves
with it.
music.
She loves music, and it moved
Yes.
enough for her. Yeah, so with the story, you know, the princes are like, oh, we want these women, but they're not here. Oh, young men chasing women, you know, and they're
Yeah.
not there. It's not easy, but it may be worth it. So yeah, you get all these stories where the baker's wife and the baker are basically trying to get all these items, interacting with Jack, who, you know, the beans are thrown by the mother. They get the beanstalk. You get the whole story, gold coins. All Jack wants is just his cow. And I liked his song. You know,
Yeah.
that's when you hear his voice and you're like, oh, dang.
He's got
Boy
some
can
pipes.
sing, because
He's got
James
some
Corden
pipes.
can't.
He can sing.
Oh, it was
He can do
auto-tune.
car
He can do
karaoke.
car. Yeah, but he can't do,
He
like,
can sing.
he was...
I enjoyed him as the baker, and I thought.
Boy,
he
you
was
look at Emily
great.
Blunt was there, because, like, it was...
She carried for sure.
I had issues.
I absolutely disagree, but okay.
And I'm not a singer, but I was the point was all like, you could do the sing song, but I thought he was the weaker
of the performers,
of the performers, of the singers.
Yes, I mean obviously they brought him in because he was big back then.
Yeah, he was supposed to be
that
funny.
that was the peak. That was his peak of carpool karaoke.
Yes.
And then
was
everyone
on
learned
that
that the car's not even driving; it's on a trailer.
Right.
His show's not even on
No,
anymore.
No, he left.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done this long enough.
He got canceled, and
Yeah, he left when it was time. But Baker's wife, they get everything. They struggle with the white cow because the white cow dies.
Yeah.
It was funny how they did. That was probably the only part that I really chuckled.
Right.
Was when like the cow was powdered. It's like it's not even real white, and just like
It's covered in
the other one
flour.
died. It's like, oh, and I love Meryl Streep. Was like, well, I can bring it back to life, and I was like, that was kind of the fun from the
Yes.
theater where I'm going. That was fun, and I feel like those little fun moments were like felt like the powdering of the white of the cow. I felt like that was probably the only thing original the movie made funny.
Right.
Because usually on the stage play, you just have a stationary cow that
Right.
runs. It's something a high school production could do. They get everything, and they're able. It ends in like a happy ending. You get introduced to Rapunzel, the funny part where you get the haircut.
Right.
You do get the what is it? The witches song.
oh my gosh, she's so good at it.
It's like the Stay With Me. I called it the Mother Gothel song.
yeah.
Mother knows best. But my daughter's like, oh, it's Mother Gothel, and I'm like, yeah, it's that's what it is. That's where they got it from. So the first part, it's you could tell where there's intermission for this. And it's the wedding. Like, that's it.
I
like,
would
the
say the
intermission.
first half of the movie is the best part of the movie.
a lot of people said that. And then they go, why?
The second half is definitely where the movie drops.
It's
Well,
the Swiss cheese of it.
It's like everyone likes to knock on the second half, but honestly, it's the most important.
It is
half
the
of
most
the
important
movie.
half.
Because that's
That's actual character development. The other
Right.
one's just like,
It's
hey,
the
a funny
fun
thing
adventure.
happened on the way to the Coliseum.
Right.
Aha, here,
Yeah.
bumping in and out, waving
It's the
story.
happily ever after. Everyone's
everyone's happy, and then you get hit with like, no, there is no happily ever after. Life moves on, and you have to
Yeah.
deal with the consequences of life.
It really smacks you.
Oh, big time.
And the face, like, you're like, oh, that was fun. And then you're like, okay, we're like an hour and 20 minutes. This is going on. What else is going to happen? And I felt like this is like, it was, the Jack cuts the beanstalk, and then the giant
Kills the
dies,
giant.
and now the wife comes back
Yeah.
and, is on hey, I want to find the murderer, and so everyone's on the scramble to find Jack. And, I do like the blame song.
The blame song was
it's
good.
Very
so good.
Well, I mean, and it's very reflective of society today.
Yes.
Where everyone looking to point the
points the
blame.
blame.
But the truth is, everybody, since your
Correct.
stories are interweaved, you're all
You're all at fault.
complicit in this crime.
Well, it's like I like the blame song and the transitions into like the witch just going crazy, like you all driving me nuts, and like
I'm just gonna become a tar pit.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like, did she fall into it in her like glorious song? That was a great song with the witch. I forgot what it was called, but yeah. And then you get the scene with the baker's wife and the prince.
Right.
We're like, wow, you're brave. You're such a brave woman to be out here. And I'm all like, oh, I'm getting weird vibes.
Yes.
And it was almost like, did I miss something? Did I yawn
You
too
did.
much?
You
And
missed
like,
something
did he
because they
get
didn't cut it.
possessed by the woods? And he's like,
No.
I'm a creep. I got the
He's
Johnny
a
Depp
prince,
creep.
like he's not.
I'm charming, but not sincere.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a point that the play did a better job of presenting than the movie did.
And that's what after the second half, I'm going, I want to watch the play.
Right.
And that's the point where I start getting like, I start picking at it. It's like it flipped on me when I'm going, I'm missing something here. And, you know, that was the biggest, like, I'm done with this movie when I got to the Prince and the Baker's Wife. And I'm going, at this point, I was like, I'm really losing liking anybody on this, you know? So that was, you know, that was, I don't know. Did you guys have any, like, I know you like it. Do you have any issues with that scene with the Baker's Wife and the Prince where they're like making out?
I totally get where it's like a little off, but like she just got caught up in the moment of like he's a prince.
Well,
like, and
yeah.
she built up to that before
A
him
little
with
bit.
the Cinderella.
They only did it a little bit.
I know,
in the
but-
play, they did it several times because he met with the prince every single time. So in the play, like they build into that every single night.
Yeah, and like
I
And so
understand.
you
like,
see that
it's-
relationship
the
build,
movie will
that connection
never-
that she has.
The movie will never be like the play.
and that's
the
why, and that's the problem.
But
Is
my
if you're not gonna
thought-
do it, if you're not gonna make it better or make people forget that there's a play, then you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Like we grew up watching 1776. I know it's a play, but I have no desire to ever watch the play because I
movie
like
was so
the
good.
movie.
yeah.
And that's where it succeeds, and this is where I go, I want to watch the play, you know.
See, and I don't get that feeling.
And so you know, like, and that's just for me, you know.
Right.
And the movie must carry it more for you.
I think for me, it's like, I thought they did a decent job with transitioning it into a movie, comparing to like the other stage productions that they did, like Mamma Mia.
I thought Mamma
Les
Mia 4 once. Somebody
Mis.
said it was good, and I was like, really?
Mamma Mia was horrible.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh,
I have no desire to see that one.
it's
It's
who's
not
James
good.
Bond that the James Bond that sings. I was like, that was horrible.
Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan sings, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That was
So I thought the actors and singers they picked were
Sure.
good.
they did.
I thought the production quality was good. I thought the sound quality was good. And it gave me like that fun, like fairy tale. It caught me throughout the entire movie. Towards the end, yes, I got a little.
You get the choppiness of it.
Yes, I could see where it dropped at the end, but it's still like a pleasant movie.
You enjoy the escape of it
Yes.
with everything that happens.
I enjoy like how every story connects in some way. I enjoy the story arc of each character.
I do have to say, you get a lot of growth the second half
Yes.
because it gets dark, and you know, adversity creates, you know, that character, and really, you know, see where you're at. You know, you get the baker once the baker's wife dies. And in the play she gets squished by a giant, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like alluded, like it's like, oh, and it's
I
kind
just
of
fell
like
off a cliff.
I fell off a cliff. You didn't know what was going on, and I was like, how did she die? You know, and I'm
Right.
glad they addressed that, like they found her, or Jack found the scarf. And
Right.
I did like the Alone song.
Right.
That was
good.
That was good. It pulls on the emotions. You get a very human experience, like going back to the prince and the baker's wife. I get it, you know, like it's I got swept away in the moment.
She got swept up, like, you know, it's like when you see a celebrity, you get swept up and you're like,
You
he's
act
just
stupid.
a person.
Yeah.
Right.
and he's, you know, he's
And it's the same
Taking
thing
advantage of
with,
a situation.
Like, the story arc of Cinderella, you know, she's like, oh, he's a prince, he's there. But then she realized, like, you're not who I thought you were.
yeah, and that was one thing with Cinderella. Her character just kept looping of like,
Yeah.
she's a tease, like I'm here, I'm gone, I'm here, I'm gone, and just doesn't know what she wants.
doesn't know what she wants. She's a young girl.
Yeah, and in the end she goes like, I'll be with you, like I'll live with you
Yeah.
with the baby, you know, and so you get that definitive
I like the one comment, like, I actually enjoy the housework.
yeah, that was a little chuckle there.
Yes.
I think that was towards later night where it's like, it's like 10 o'clock right now. I'm like, I'm tired. My baby's going.
It is
like,
a long movie.
yeah, the movie's about 2 hours, but like it's weird because like the intermission creates that like
Yes.
you're getting the like wind
that's
down.
the fun thing about like when you watch the play, because you watch the play and you're like, oh, happily ever after, and you realize we're only halfway through this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And so like you go.
That's
on
where
this
my
whole
panic of
other
the movie was
journey.
all like, we're halfway through this right now. And I'm like, ooh, buddy. I did the whole like, I'll hit the up arrow. Like, how much time do I got left? And it wasn't because like I was dogging on it. I was just like, I was that panic of like,
What else is
gonna happen? Like, I'm okay with what's happened thus far. But it was going back. The Rapunzel storyline really dropped off.
It does.
It was the
I
weakest.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's the one story that like could honestly just like obviously they had to have it, but like they didn't put much into it.
I mean, you really could have gotten away with not having it.
Yep.
I mean, the other prince had more of a role in the agony song.
Yeah.
But in the play, that prince leaves because of all like the emotions that Rapunzel has.
Yes.
She's on a roller coaster after having twins, and
Yeah.
I guess the Eugene character's like, I'm gone. I don't know. It really doesn't paint men
No.
very well in the second half. Everyone leaves,
Yeah.
and the redeeming, character at the end is the baker going,
Yes.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared. And then he walks and then he comes back, and they have that nice song at the end,
Yeah.
about the children. I forgot what it was called. Tell the kids the children will listen. I think that's what the
Yes.
song is.
Yeah.
Children will listen. Very touching.
Which is
Oh,
about.
It gives me the goosebumps. I was like, that was really good, Emily Blunt. And it just, even as a parent, you're just like, there's that panic of like, what do I do? I'm
Yep.
responsible for this human being.
Yeah.
And that I don't think I would have appreciated that scene if I didn't have children, especially young ones. Because like, even after the first one, dealing with the second one, like there's that panic of like, this kid's different. I
Yep.
thought I knew everything. I don't know squat.
Yep.
So there's that panic. Not that I was like, I'm gonna leave. No, it was one of those like, I could see why people are not happy doing this all the time. So I thought it was a really good song, and
Yeah.
I got the goosebumps with it.
It was a good way to end the movie.
And I thought they end the movie well for that second part.
Yes.
It gave me a good closure.
Yeah.
So I mean, the movie's not a you get the ups and downs, and for me it's choppy, but it ends right.
Yeah.
You guys have any thoughts else you want to talk about with the second half?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I thought you handled
You
it
nailed
well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You nailed my point of view.
All right, let's talk about some of the actors. Anna Kendricks, did you like her as Cindy?
No.
I liked her.
Nope.
I'm with Peter. I thought she was on the weaker end. I know
Yep.
she could sing.
Yep. She has a great voice, but
I don't know if it was the character that was killing it, like character development, or if she just was in a better company.
Well, again, there was a lot more that they cut from the movie. They cut a lot of her scenes.
Okay.
out.
Yeah, because there was supposed to be an interaction with her and the prince before he takes off.
Right.
But I disagree. I love Anna Kendrick.
Hey,
She's defending it to the
she's
heart.
a good singer.
This was
I just
like
don't know if
also
this
peak.
showcased
This was
it.
like Pitch Perfect time too for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect 2 came out around this time.
I just don't think, and it's not necessarily anything about her. It has more to do with what they cut out
of the play.
of
Her character
her role.
stuff. So you're saying I may be feeling the lack of character development.
Correct.
That really could have showcased her ability.
See, for me, like, I really do not remember much of the play. I remember watching it once, but I just don't remember the details enough like I do with the movie. And so I'm looking at it just at, like, the movie
Sure.
point of view.
And
And-
I've cursed. I've got the Thanos problem where it's all like, oh, you're cursed of knowing what you have lost.
Mm-hmm.
So like I have the aspect of like I already know what the story was before I saw the movie.
Right. And so there wasn't ever a part where I'm like, I'm dissatisfied. Like, honestly, I look forward to her parts and singing. And, like, I enjoyed the, like, whimsical of the character of like playful, not playful, growing and being more mature by the end of the movie. And I thought she did a great job.
Okay. Yeah, it just didn't hit with me with her
Nope.
character. I thought Emily Blunt was good.
She was fantastic.
She's
She was
solid.
great. I think she was the star.
You thought she was the star?
I thought she was the star.
Yes.
I think Meryl.
Meryl was good, but I think personally think Emily Blunt was the star.
Yeah, the movie really centers around the baker
And his
and
wife.
and how they interact with the witch.
Yes.
I don't think Emily Blunt would have carried this movie if it wasn't for Meryl Streep. I think Meryl Streep is like the keystone for it.
Sure.
The whole thing would have collapsed if it didn't have
I could
her.
see that.
Could they
Yeah.
have replaced Emily Blunt with somebody else that was good at singing? Probably,
Probably.
but I think they were good together.
Yes.
And they kind of, to me, they saved the movie from being
I would agree with that.
I
really
enjoyed
bad.
Emily and James Corden's relationship.
I didn't.
I
really look at it and I just and not that I have
Yeah.
prejudice towards James because I really didn't really. I thought I was watching like Jimmy Fallon trying to be like I was watching late night host trying to sing with someone who can sing and I just saw a deficiency and skill level.
disagree.
Because like when Emily's singing with Lin-Manuel and Miranda and Mary Poppins too, I remember thinking like, oh, Emily's so much better than like
Yeah.
Bert. Like no, I thought they, for the skill level of men out there singing, I thought they were good, but James I thought was like there were just parts
He
of
was
going
the
like
weaker singer of
I
the
was like,
group.
is he being auto-tuned during this? There's just parts that I just found. And I'm really dogging on him. Sorry, but I want to showcase that Emily Blunt was good, and
Yes.
she, later on works with the, Rob Marshall in Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
So this was kind of like
I think this kind of set her up as the possibility of being
doing a Mary Poppins
Probably.
too. That or Anne Hathaway. That
I
SNL
remember-
skit was
I remember
probably
that.
there, and they're like, "Ugh."
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she was in the running
Anne Hathaway.
to
Yeah.
be Mary Poppins,
Yeah.
or yeah.
It's a-
But she was probably doing Les Mis around this time. Oh no, Les Mis was before Into the Woods.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It was the SNL skit that killed it. It's a disease of the liver. Because that's what everyone's going to say when they're watching.
Right.
Supercala, what? Chris Pine, did you like his kind of debut singing? Were you like thrown off? Or
He was okay.
he was,
It was
I thought he did well in Agony.
Yeah.
Because so a funny tidbit with that, Chris Pine was very shy about his singing voice, and Anna Kendrick was like, they were recording in the studio, and they were, they didn't know who was there because there's so many people recording. So they're in the recording studio, Anna Kendrick and Chris Pine, but Anna doesn't know that Chris is there. She knows he's shy about his voice, and when they did the rehearsals to really let, and she hears his voice, and she doesn't know it's him, and she's like, that's really good, like him just letting it
Yeah.
out. And so, she was like, okay, this will be all right, if he's, it's a good voice.
Yeah, I'm sure she's like, Chris Pine? You're gonna sing this part?
Didn't he sing in Princess Diaries? Did he sing in that one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is he in Princess Diary too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
I don't think he sings. So.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
He was singing in Star Trek, wasn't he? No. Con.
No, that was what Spock said.
That was Spock. That's
Spock
right.
said it in the remake.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They switched all
They
the
switched
roles.
it. Yeah, multiverse. So yeah, another fun tidbit with this. Meryl Streep almost died. She was on a table and she slipped and she almost went headfirst into the concrete.
Oh my gosh.
And she was actually grabbed by Emily Blunt that saved her life.
Wow.
I don't know if she was going to die, but she was on the table and
I
she
mean,
slipped.
a
James
serious
Corden said like,
injury.
oh, she's falling. We're going to watch Meryl Streep die. Didn't do anything. Just backed up.
People reacted in different ways.
Of course. No, I know. He's
And,
the one telling the story.
Emily
and
Blunt's mom, she's yeah.
she was pregnant during the filming of this. So it was kind of fun. The funny scene was when they become pregnant, where it was like, she's not pregnant. Oh, you're pregnant. Well, that was quick.
Right.
And that's what was
I
going
love that.
on.
Like, I need your shoe to be pregnant. It's just
And
like,
then-
what? And,
And
then
she
they
shows
saw
them,
it.
See? And like, what?
Yeah, Anna Kendrick,
That was
Cinderella. That was, like I said, there were some funny moments, in this movie. They it's the
Yeah.
odd like request. It's like, that's weird, and that's what makes it fun being the fairy tale. One more tidbit fact
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
we, rank it. The set was so vast and intricate that Anna Kendrick and Chris Pine got lost, and the production
the
team
woods.
into the
Yeah.
woods they did, and the production team had to go find them. So that's how well they did the woods in this.
I thought the
Studio.
sets and stuff was so good. It
Was dark.
yes.
Very dark. Don't watch this in the daytime because your TV won't be able to see nothing.
I did watch it at night, and I turned everything off.
Yeah.
I mean, it is dark, but it's how it goes, I think.
That's probably how the Dark Ages or Middle Ages were, a dark
And
time.
I don't know. The CGI didn't bother me.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
I did notice Meryl Streep look younger.
Yeah.
You didn't. What? I know. I love the mist of clouds and mist around her. She turns into a tar pit,
That didn't bother me. It was.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't the Rock
the,
as the Scorpion
How about
King
falling
fighting.
Down the wolf's throat?
That was kind of.
It was just fun.
I think I missed that part. I think I had to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know in the play they do something fun. No, that wasn't a bad scene. Like how he gets like
How
the
Red
baker
gets-
saves.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's clever. I
Yeah.
wasn't thrown off. The
Okay.
CGI didn't bother me. I'm a big stickler for the CGI.
Yes.
It wasn't used to
There wasn't a
take
giant
place.
CGI battle.
Right.
No, or
Actually, there kind of was with the giant.
with the giant. That didn't.
Yeah.
That didn't. People had issues with the giant. I didn't have an issue with the giant. It kind of was. I felt like it was a little bit of
felt-
like Alice in Wonderland.
So the one aspect about the giant I probably didn't like was the fact that you go throughout the whole movie. Again, they don't show the giant. I think they would have been better off not showing the giant.
The giant scarier, not being seen.
Oh, you wanted not to see the giant as just like a normal person, but big?
Yeah.
No. Like you don't see the giant. Like you just have the camera angle of the giant.
Oh,
So you
okay.
never actually see the giant.
You just see like feet or something like that.
Right.
Well, I think they just had the opportunity because it was a stage and now it's a movie. They're like, well, now we can actually do a giant.
Right.
But
no, I
you're
get it.
saying it takes away.
I
seeing
think it took it a little because like when they did started showing her face, which I thought was funny casting because she plays a giant in Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like you see her, they do like this like slow motion blur with her face, and it was kind of weird to me. And so I wish they just kind of like left it as like we just got to see her point of view and not necessarily see her face.
Okay.
One last one. I got one. Meryl
Yeah.
Streep was, when she turned 40, she was offered 3 witches role, and she said, I will never do a witch role. And she broke her rule for this.
Yeah.
Because it's like the stigma in Hollywood of,
Right.
of like women, you get typecast, and she was like, nope, not doing that. So, all right, let's give it Mickey bars. I'll go with you, Peter, first, and then Jackie, and then I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 2.
That hurt your heart.
Oh,
I
that
would have.
hurts me.
I actually would have given it worse. I'm being generous.
Did we
with
did we
2.
convince you a little bit? So is the low score because what you know?
A lot of it is. That's part of it. I mean, I think that's most of it because the play itself, like they give you all the information. Here we're missing so much of the information that makes a lot of the scenes make sense. We're missing the comedy. I felt like the music was fine. I felt the set, like it looked very pretty. It was a very pretty movie. And for the most part, the cast was great. I just felt the story really took me out because they didn't include some of like some of the best scenes just so that they could try to fit a time limit on it.
Yep.
And so again, like kind of going back to what you said, it made me go, I want to see the play.
And I think that's the
Because
biggest
I
hurdle you have to
enjoyed-
do with transitioning from stage to film.
Right.
You have to break going, would this be better?
Right.
You know.
And I left this going, next time I watch this, I'm watching the stage.
You're
I'm
going
not
to watch
watching the
YouTube,
movie.
like stage, yeah.
Well, I mean, they sell it. Father
Father
Yoda,
Yoda
has
has
it
it.
on DVD.
Okay.
So,
All right, Jackie. As you drink some water.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Give us your score.
I give it a 4. I can
4.
watch it. If it's on, I will sit and watch it. It satisfies me and what I want in the story. I thought it was well done, and I am shocked to hear the 2-star rating.
Yep.
Because I just don't think it's anywhere close to that.
Yeah, I think I thought you would rank it higher just because of the music.
music.
But after hearing your stage going, oh, Peter's stuck on
I am.
seeing something different and not being able to make the jump. I
Yeah.
feel like the 2 is you never made the jump.
Well, because like the things that I liked about Into the Woods, I didn't get in the movie.
I just think
And so I got a half-baked version of the movie, of the story that I liked.
Have you seen the stage play?
once.
Okay.
But like I don't have like the desire to watch it. I would probably watch the movie over the stage play.
Okay.
I just think it's interesting because like I know you've ranked horrible movies higher than this.
You know it.
Welcome to the Yodelers, where nothing makes sense.
Nope,
And so
not at
that's
all.
why I'm just
And
like
the rankings
a
mean
cute-
nothing.
Rocketeer, 1,000 times better than
Yes.
Into the Woods.
And I'm just
A
like
plus movie,
the quality
Rocketeer.
was so much better and good, and obviously it's just a personal.
You're
know.
right. You're not wrong. It is my personal like point of view because of my experience with this story.
Because all 3 of us have different experiences
Yes.
coming into this movie, and it's kind of fun to hear where we're all at with this.
All right, where are you at?
I'm with Peter. It's 2.
Oh my
I know.
God.
It was the second.
Like I can understand a 3, but a 2?
A
Like, are
3
you
is
crazy?
like I'm willing to watch it again, and I have zero
Yep.
But
desire
your
to watch
daughter
it again.
seen it, so she's gonna want to watch it again.
Maybe I don't know. Like, she may want to watch it. She may put it on, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna watch it. You know, I can always do cleaning while it's somewhere
Oh,
else.
it hurts my soul.
I know, and I was like, oh, I just never.
It just didn't hit.
It didn't hit. I thought it was fun
Do
at
you
moments.
enjoy musicals?
I do. I really do. Hey, I love
Jackie's trying
Hamilton.
so hard.
Oh, it just kills me because I love this movie.
And I knew when we were watching, I was like, oh, this is a Jackie favorite. She wants to get our opinions. And I was like, I feel like I'm
it's
doing
so
the classic
hard.
brother tear
It's
into
so
something.
hard to defend this movie when I've got 2 strong haters in front of
And
me.
I know, I was like, I got in the car and I made my statement
Yep.
to Peter. I was like, oh, Peter's on my side.
Yep.
Ooh, poor Jackie. Like, I knew it was going to be hard for you because you really liked this film.
Well, Peter and I always have opposite opinions.
You
We
do,
tend
and
to
I'm
do.
the one
We
that
tend to
I'm
do.
more can sway, you know, with what I hear.
You like to listen to the arguments and be like, okay.
Yeah, I'm more lean this way now. You did a good enough,
I
and
just
my
think-
scores have changed with my Mickey bars,
I
but this
just
one is
think
still
you
like
guys have nitpicked this way too much, and I just don't see what you guys see.
That's fine.
yeah. I mean,
I would say if you've never seen it, if you have no idea about the musical or you've never seen the movie, is it worth watching once? Yes, it's worth watching once.
I picked this movie because I've never watched it, and I wanted to. I did have a prejudice where my wife said, like, oh, it's not that good, with the sing song, and so I've kind of been deterred because she didn't enjoy it. But when she was watching it, she goes, it's so much better the second time when I'm watching with not just without the distractions.
Yeah.
And so she enjoyed the music more.
Yeah.
And, I kept my opinion to myself while watching it. I didn't dog it. I wanted to wait to the end. But yeah, after sitting on it and just letting everything stew, the second half just decimated the movie for me.
You think the second half just ruined the movie?
The second half,
because they cut out so much.
and that's where I started looking at YouTube going, what am I missing? And that's what killed it, where it's like, when I had that thought in the movie while watching going, I wish I could watch this on the play because I think this would be a better stage play than this movie. And that's what goes, I cannot make this a 3 because I had that thought. It's just too strong in the middle of this movie. And like the last 30 minutes was the hardest 30 minutes of a 2-hour movie. But I say some of the best songs
Yeah.
and like growth of characters are in that part.
Yes.
But it's too Swiss cheese for me. But music's good. If you like theater music, and you
it's solid, yeah.
it's solid. Meryl
Yep.
Streep does a great job. I was totally impressed. Emily Blunt does good.
So,
But
here's-
it's just they can't. I think some of the things positives, like I said, is what's keeping it at a 2, because
I was tempted to go lower.
if it was different, I may have done it lower.
Yeah.
It was so hard. I wanted to make it a 3, but I was like, everything in me was saying no.
So, question. Here's just a fun question.
Ooh, fun question.
If you had the talent,
Which we don't.
we don't have the
All
talent,
right, yeah.
but if you had the talent, what character would you want to
Well, if James
do?
Corden could be the baker. I don't know. I don't know what I would be. I would be my talent. If I had the talent, I would be a magic bean. Like that's my aspiration.
I mean,
this.
I would love to be one of the princes singing.
You could
Agony.
do the
That's
Agony
my
Prince.
favorite song. Both. The
That would be
for
fun.
the
To,
flavor,
I would be
but
fun to
yes.
sing that with you.
It's just a fun.
If I could sing.
It's a fun duet with two guys. Just agony, misery.
They're
Like,
bros.
oh.
And, I love I made this comment with my wife. So, women love to tease men when they get sick.
Yeah.
Because, men don't like to show their emotions, but when they get sick, they really overemphasize
We
it.
do. We do.
And so I think that's what we're seeing with the Agony song is bros like, we can finally let our
Yeah.
emotions. And they're like, just opening up their chests. And that's like, that was funny because
Yeah.
unless, a guy has been, married and has been pointed out like, you are a big baby when you're sick. Or, like when they've let out that emotion, they're just silly kids. Yeah. So that was kind of fun to talk to my wife about that. I was like, I think it's just like two guys being sick and they're just like, my emotions. What would you be, Jackie?
I think I would be the witch.
You'd be fun.
I think it would be so fun.
It's a fun character.
You would like that the random pop-ins.
Yes.
Like, get the cow.
Yes.
Fun
I
character.
think it's
Keeps
just
the going
so
that
fun.
first half.
And then like her songs are just so good.
They're good, powerful songs. Yes.
So if I could sing it, yeah, I would want to sing that.
Next episode. No.
Next episode.
That's
While Jackie still has her throat phlegm.
Yeah.
Agony.
Would you hear the intro to this one and have Jackie sing?
Oh no.
But if you haven't watched this movie, I would say watch it.
Yes.
It's what I read with the reviews. It's polarizing. It's like you love it or you hate it.
Correct.
Like this one guy, I like the review. I'll finish it off. I goes, in a movie which tried to create something interesting but ended up with a huge pile of rubbish. It tried to be a comedy and a musical but failed miserably in both genres. Laughter and musical delight being out of the question. Although it had an interesting cast, to say the least, it tried to tell a sub-mediocre story, but everything went in any direction except the designated one. It makes you feel that you're watching a very low-budget parody with no clear purpose, which ultimately leads to a he uses a word I won't use, but a lame finale, which simply makes no sense. It's bad in every possible way. It's this, and I go like, you get this, or you get like, I loved it. They have your view.
Your view or our view? It's very
just,
polarizing
I don't know.
movie.
I think people nitpick this movie way too hard.
And I think you get like Peter, where he's like, he appreciates the story and he's seen the play, and they're gonna be like the truest, where they're gonna be like, that was not what it was, and you're gonna be like, it's great, it's a good story, it's fun. Why do you need to make it more complicated? And then you have me that goes, I like making things complicated. So you have to look at your personality. And like you called me out and going, do you like musicals? And I go, I do. I can sit through a musical. I enjoy it. But you know, it's not my first go-to.
Yeah.
So if musicals are your first go-to, watch it.
Yeah.
Of course. Enjoy it. But if you've seen the play and you watch that,
you may not enjoy it.
You may get Peter's view.
Yeah.
All right. Any last words with this?
It's hard to compete against you guys.
Sorry.
We don't make it easy. When we have strong opinions, we have strong opinions.
And we have podcasts to
Yeah.
discuss these
I
strong
still,
opinions.
I understand your wife's perspective when they're like, man, you guys just nitpick a movie so hard.
Well, that's thanks
It's
to the
so
podcast.
negative.
That's the podcast.
I would
coming in.
not have nitpicked at it if
hard.
if I didn't have to
agree.
think about it the next
Yeah.
day.
I would
with the
agree
podcast.
100%.
I would have forgotten and be like, no, all right, never again.
If I didn't have a podcast, I'd probably be more like, I'd say 3, I guess. I don't know. I don't care.
I agree. I wouldn't have like let me really get into like why I felt this
Right,
in this scene. I
exactly.
would have watched it and like, oh, my daughter enjoyed it. That's great. I'm glad we're spending time as a family.
Right.
It would have been very simple, but because we have to talk about this, have to. No, it's the topic we
forcing you.
discussed. That's where we ended up with it. So.
But overall, I say go watch it, enjoy it as a simple movie. That's what it is.
And I agree. Go do that. And if maybe it's just our job in doing this and I just took it too serious. So with that being said, please follow us on our social medias. Let us know, do you love Into the Woods? Please let us know on our social medias, our email. And if you have any ideas, any movies you want us to review, we're open to that.
Yeah,
We'll review anything. We reviewed The Black Hole.
We'll stoop to that. And if you're willing to let us pick at it, we may like it, we may hate it.
Yeah,
Black Hole being the lowest,
broken.
or
I think you rated the Black Hole higher than this.
We may have. Well, I think we
did.
rated it higher because it's one of those like you must watch really bad movies.
if
Yeah.
you're,
I would say Into the Woods is a better movie than Black Hole.
Yes.
I'll give you that,
Yes.
Jackie.
All right, a win.
But I'm more
comedically-
likely to watch Black Hole
Oh,
than
no.
Into the Woods.
No, thank you. I would-
just the comedic Val that we had on that episode.
I'm more likely to watch Black Hole.
I
No
might
way.
be. If you had to give me the choice between the two, I might.
You guys are crazy.
And I
You
agree
are
with you. We
crazy.
are crazy for
we
that.
are.
We are crazy. But,
All right.
But let us know if there's a movie you want us to review and talk about. We'll take into consideration. With that being said, Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you for joining us on this week's episode of the Matterhorn Yodelers. Please remember, before your bobsled comes to a complete stop, to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember,
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.